I'm Adam Johnson. My wife and I have grown our real estate business from nothing into the millions, and now my life's purpose is to show you how we did it so that you can do the same. Starting this month, I'm uploading a ton of free and very helpful videos that will be your step-by-step guide to starting an Airbnb business utilizing our go-to property acquisition technique called Subject to. Follow along these course videos, take notes, and dive into the exciting, challenging, yet very rewarding world of real estate investing with me, Adam Johnson. Enjoy. Welcome to the introductory course of Subject to, how to buy houses with little to no money. In this short little video, we're going to talk a little bit about what you should expect in this course, and also a little bit about myself and my wife, so you kind of have a good idea of who you're working with, a little bit about where our values are and how we got to where we are today. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right into it. My wife and I, we're not native of Clarksville, Tennessee, which is where all of our properties are. I'm from Mississippi, Northeast Mississippi, and my wife is from Panama City, Panama, the actual country, not Panama City, Florida. So we come a long way, her more than me, to come up here to be investors in the Clarksville, Tennessee area. Myself, I did 15 years of U.S. Army time, 13 years of Special Forces as a Green Beret. My wife was a medical tech with 2 children, raising them on her own, driving an hour and 15 minutes one way to Nashville, really grinding to make things happen. But that's why we've been successful as a couple, because we both have a very strong work ethic. That's something that you're going to learn about us, and I'm going to instill that into you guys as we move further on, as far as changing your mindset and looking at opportunities and risk in a little bit different manner. So as I say, I did some Army time. I got out at 15 years. If you know anything about the military, you know that you only have to do 20 years to retire and have a lifetime of benefits. So when people find out that I only did 15 years and got out with that 5 years left, they look at me crazy. I'm here to tell you that I have no regrets. We built this business from the ground up the right way. We took our bumps and bruises, we made our mistakes, but we're here to help you guys avoid those mistakes, hit the ground running, and be as efficient as possible to get your business off the ground and start buying some houses, creating that passive income. To date, we've bought over 50 properties using the Subject to method, which is why you're here. Let me just tell you up front, this is not a get-rich quick scheme. This is very challenging. It takes time. It takes years. It takes, again, bumps and bruises. It takes learning the ropes. We did not pay ourselves for the first 4 years. So, we took every ounce of profit and put it right back into the business on the next acquisition, repairing older properties, you name it. And I'm gonna talk a lot about that, which is what we call delayed gratification, taking that profit and instead of blowing it, putting it back into your business so it continue to grow and continue to create more and more equity. And we'll talk a little bit more about equity and all the other useful ways that real estate is very beneficial. You'll hear me talk a lot about financial freedom as well. Financial freedom is when your passive income assets, we'll talk a lot about that as well, when your passive income assets are able to pay for your expenses. And when I say passive, I mean you're not working for it. So you buy, 5, 10, 15 houses. Those houses generate $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month without you having to work. That money covers your expenses, and now you are what we call financially free. You do not have to trade your time for hours for a boss for a paycheck, hopefully ever again. And that's what we accomplished at 34 years old. My wife is a little bit younger than me. But at 34 years old, I have become or put ourselves in position to be financially free. And for the last 3.5 years, we've been very flexible. We get to travel the world. We get to make our own plans. We don't have to check in with someone to ask for time off and that kind of stuff. And on top of that, we actually have people that work with us, and it's very rewarding to be able to provide, income for other families so they can feed their families. They can, put gas in their car, all that kind of stuff. It's really rewarding to be able to start a business that not only benefits you as it should, but also benefits the people that work with you. So that goes into the starting the business the right way. And we'll talk a lot more about that when we get into the weeds. So that's a little bit about us. Nothing special. We're just like you guys. We come from blue collar families. We've worked our whole lives. We were prepared to work 40 years like everybody else, retire at 60, 65 like everybody else. And it just so happens we stumbled upon a commercial
about a real estate seminar down in Nashville back in 2014, and the rest is history. Now I'm out of the Army, got a beard, living my best life, and no regrets. So, talk about why we created this course. I created this course for people like myself and my wife who don't know where to start. I firmly believe within my down to my core that we're not meant to just work 40 hours as humans and then retire at 60, 65, past our physical prime, to then go and try to enjoy, the things that we dreamed about at a younger age. So we started this course for people that don't know where to begin, don't know who to talk to on YouTube, who to find on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. There are resources out there, and here, now that you're with me, let's make this happen. This course is also for people that don't believe that or never thought that investing was for them. Again, we come from blue collar families. I apologize. Blue collar families. We don't come from entrepreneurial backgrounds. We don't come from anything of that nature. So us learning what we've learned through trial and error, through reading the books that we've read, has changed my mindset. Almost a 180-degree difference on how I was raised and how I viewed money as a consumer. I'm no longer a consumer. Now I look at prices, I look at equity, I look at things a lot differently than a typical consumer, a typical 9-to-5 worker consumer, where that's who I used to be. And I used to always worry about saving every little penny I could. I could never see myself paying someone to do something that I could do for myself. Now, as an entrepreneur, I understand the power of leverage, of hiring people that can do smaller tasks that you could do, but they free up your time. In our business, I should only do what I can do, meaning I'm in charge of acquiring new properties. I'm in charge of building, educational videos. I'm in charge of certain tasks. Anything less than that, I should hire out to leverage other people's skill and talent to free me up to do only what I can do. So we'll talk a lot about that as well. This course is also for people that want to quit their jobs. How do I quit my job? How much money do I have? How much money do I need? All that kind of stuff. We'll talk a lot about that as well, as far as positioning yourself to be able to quit your job, because when you run your business, it should be to benefit you. You're not running a business that requires you to be there all day, every day, because that's, depending on how you look at it, that's more of a self-employment as opposed to a business. A business should work without you physically being there, or without you being on the phone all day, every day. So we're going to talk about some of the systems that we utilize, mainly from the book, The E-Myth. That's a great book by Michael Gerber. I highly recommend that book, The E-Myth. Get that book. But that talks about the systemizing your business. And our business works 95% on its own. There are certain days where I'm contacted. I got to make a few phone calls here and there. But my wife and I, we've traveled the world. We took a 6-week vacation down to Panama, out of the country. Nothing ever stopped. We went to Africa a few months ago for 8 days. Nothing ever stopped. So I want to help you guys build that kind of business with a strong foundation, with the right systemization of all of your procedures, all your principles within your business, so that it can free you up, so you can have the freedom. You can own your own time, and you can go enjoy the fruits of your labor. Now, don't get me wrong, that does not happen tomorrow. It's going to take you a few months, maybe even a few years to build those systems. But with the right work ethic and the understanding of leverage and finances and delayed gratification, you'll get there. I promise you, you will get there. For people that want to spend more time with their family, okay, that we build it for those people as well. It's common for us as humans, as Americans, to work, as I said before, 40, 45 years, sometimes 8, 10, 12-hour days. And what happens is, when you miss that birthday, when you miss that anniversary, when you miss that important date because you're working or you're out of the area because your job has put you somewhere else, that time does not come back. I tell all of my clients, you can make more money, you can never make more time. So to me, my wife and I, the way we see time is our most valuable asset. I don't do what we do to make money. I do it because the money gives us the freedom and the time to be home all the time, to be with my wife, to go to events, to never miss an appointment, to never miss a birthday, to never miss an occasion, because that time does not come back. So just something to think about. I hope you guys learn working with me that I value time a lot differently than your average person. And then as far as the main reason, here's the main reason that we created this course, and this is near and dear to my heart: financial freedom. Financial freedom. It's not, as I said before, it's not my belief that we're meant to just work 40, 45, 50 years. I would love for everyone watching this, everyone that is part of this journey, to achieve that financial freedom. And please understand, it, as I said before, it does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen, in a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of years. It took us 4.5, 5 years. It could have taken us 10 years. And had it taken us 10 years, I wouldn't have cried at all. I would have kept on pushing till we got to that point. So you all have your own goals. For me, as I said, mine is financial freedom. I don't care about having the fastest car, the biggest house. I have a Samsung watch and I drive a Ram pickup truck. I'm a simple guy. For me, my time is the most valuable thing that I have, and I'm losing it every second. So it's super important. If your goals are money, that's on you. If your goal is to spend more time with your kids, that's great. If your goal is to buy that beach house in Miami, more power to you, okay? But we're gonna talk a lot about that mindset and what this business can build for you. In this course, what you're gonna learn? You're gonna learn, day one, we're gonna talk about business foundation, all right? I've purchased quite a few real estate courses because I'm always building my knowledge as well. You know, you'll never get to a point where you're finished educating yourself. So all the courses I've purchased, they're very informative, great courses. However, I've yet to come across a course that says on day one, here's how you start building your foundation. Here's how you start building your team. Here's where you get your contracts. Here's how you find your CPA, your handyman, how you interview such and such. What are some of the red flags when talking to so-and-so? That is just as important, having that foundation, having your LLC established, your S-Corp established, having your accounts, your credit card, your profit account, your savings account, your line of credit. All those things are just as important as buying that first house and that 10th house. You got to have that strong foundation, because listen to what I'm about to tell you. Most operations, most plans do not go as planned. I learned that in the Army, and it's been the same out here in the real world in business. Almost everything you plan for will have some kind of little hitch to it. Nothing ever goes as planned. So having that strong team and that strong foundation is going to help you be relaxed, when things are not going as smooth as they should be, and help you have a clear head to make great decisions to put you in your business, to protect you in your business, or advance you in your business. So a foundation is just as important as being able to negotiate and talk to sellers. It's just as important. We're going to talk about how to build your team. We're going to talk about going to the REI meetings, talking to other investors in the area, trying to find that good contractor. Who do you use for electrical problems, plumbing problems. We're going to build that whole team. Our list of vendors, of contractors, so is about 1.5 pages of names, contacts, phone numbers, all that kind of stuff, because as I said before, we built our business to work without us. So we have all that information, but also the people that work with us, our assistants and all that kind of stuff, they have those names to call, and whenever we're not available, they can execute without us being here. So having those people in place, having those names on the list, and also training your people to be able to execute in your absence, very powerful. And it gives you that financial freedom so you can be away and do what you got to do. We're going to talk about how to market to subject to sellers. Please understand, subject to is a niche way to buy properties. It's not for everybody. Every house is not your house. Every seller is not your seller. You're looking for an individual that needs your capabilities. So we'll talk a lot more about that as far as your structuring your criteria on what a good deal is, what a good house is, who a motivated seller is, a lot of those other details so I don't want you wasting time. I've had clients that on day one, they start marketing, they get a phone call, and they leave their house, drive 1.5 hours one way, and it's a dead lead. So we're going to talk a lot about you being efficient and creating that criteria, so that when that phone call comes in and everything, all your little boxes are checked, you're ready to execute, you're ready to make this deal happen. So super important to determine what works for you. And then the last thing we'll talk about, one of the classes, is the whole process from start to finish. I'm going to show you from day one to setting up everything, to starting your marketing, to getting that first phone call, to negotiating with that seller, to overcoming objections, to getting in the vehicle to go talk to them, doing a walk through the property, pointing out certain things, having that seller talk to you about their property, all the way to the closing table where you coordinate with your your attorney, coordinate with the sellers. You guys are meeting at the closing table. They sign over the property. You have a new asset, and bam, we go from there. So I want to thank you guys for letting me assist you in your journey. This is awesome. I feel very proud to be along with you in your journey. And you guys have my phone number. If I can help you outside of this, please just shoot me a message. But be ready for a lot more information coming your way. So thank y'all for watching this. We'll see you in the next class. Here we go.
Thank you for watching. If you got lots of value from our free content, you're going to love the one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and seminars that we offer on our website at reisimplified.co. We look forward to guiding you through the early steps of building your business, buying real estate, and working towards financial freedom. Let's go buy some houses.